All right, y'all, meet James Adair, a man who spent 40 years trading with native tribes across the Southeast, and then wrote one of the most talked about books of the 1700s about them. Oh, and he also claimed Native Americans were descendant from the lost tribes of Israel. Yeah, he was that guy. Adair was born around 1709, probably in Ireland, and jumped into deerskin trade in 1735. He worked with the Catawba, Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, and Chickasaw, right when Britain, France, and Spain were all fighting for influence in the Southeast. Basically, the man had a front row seat to chaos and apparently took notes. At one point, the governor of South Carolina even hired him to convince Chickasaw warriors to help guard the frontier. Not bad for a trader until it all went sideways. See, Adair tried to pull the Choctaw away from the French and somehow managed to start a civil war instead. He blamed the governor. The governor blamed him. Next thing you know, he's almost in jail. And to make things worse, the French arrested him too. Talk about bad Yelp reviews on both sides. So yeah, by the end of all that, he was broke, angry, and probably questioning every life decision up to that point. He eventually headed back to Chickasaw country, rebuilt his reputation, fought in the Cherokee War, and then decided it was time to retire from trading and write a book. That book, The History of the American Indians, came out in London in 1775 with a little help from Benjamin Franklin. And it's part history, part personal memoir, and part conspiracy theory starter pack. Adair makes 23 arguments that Native Americans were actually Hebrews, the lost tribe of Israel. Yeah, not exactly peer-reviewed material. But to his credit, his description of culture, rituals, and politics are still used by historians today. No one really knows how Adair's story ends, but his book became one of the foundations for how early scholars studied Southeastern tribes. So yeah, he might have gotten lost in his own theory, but at least he left behind some fascinating history along the way. If you like his stories that mix facts, wild ideas, and a little bit of what was he thinking, you'll find plenty more in Exploring History over on YouTube. You made it to the end. I love that. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us on YouTube and everywhere else you get your history fix.